We've got a situation where the rich love animals than the people. The dogs of rich people in South Africa have got medical aid, but the domestic workers and university workers, the farm workers, the petrol attendants, the security guards do not have medical aids, neither do they have rights as workers. They all work for a system called labor brokers. So students, like they did during apartheid days in South Africa in 1976, they've now influenced a new era, a new terrain of struggle, where the interests of the poor are firmly put on the agenda of South Africa. Today, South Africa discusses minimum wage. Today, South Africa discusses how the rich can share wealth with the poor, because the young ones are in the forefront of the struggle to transform South Africa. In South Africa, for the past 21 years, politics which were represented there were right-wing politics, which led to the ruling party also taking a right-wing direction because it only had competition from the right. There's never been a legitimate, credible left formation to challenge the ruling party or to have a ruling party striving for balance. And because nature does not allow a vacuum, the organization called the Economic Freedom Fighters emerged and closed that gap. The EFF emerged in South Africa because South African working class demanded a proper representative of the working class. EFF emerged in South Africa because the unemployment increased in South Africa. The poverty levels increased in South Africa. The inequality increased in South Africa. We have a situation where the levels of corruption in South Africa are actually institutionalized. You get a senior position on the basis of to what extent are you corrupt. If you are anti-corruption, you never get a promotion, because the state favors those who are corrupt. We have a situation in South Africa where a white-owned capitalism or economic system has been exploiting our people, and our people have not been benefiting from the mineral resources in our country. We have a company called the London Mine, which is mining in a place called Marikana. In that mine, the mine has got everything, all the basic needs: water, electricity, roads. And just next to a mine is a township or a village where black people stay without water and electricity, without roads, without proper schools. Yet London Mine is taking their platinum and reinforcing and making London and Britain to be what it is. Literally, between the mine and the community is a dumping area where the children coming from that community go and look for food in that dumping area. It is in the same mine where 34 workers were killed by a London mine. Those workers did not demand anything except a living wage. One of the workers in an interview, when he was interviewed and he was told, "You are looking for too much money, yet you are not educated. Why do you look for so much money? You have not been to school." He said, "I want this money so that I can take my child to school, so that my child cannot be like me." I want to produce a CEO of a mine. They were fighting to have a roof over their head. They did not have weapons in their hands. But the government of the day responded to those genuine demands of the people by sending police with rifles. And people were killed because they demanded enough money to take their kids to school. Some of them, when police arrived, they raised their hands and pleaded that police should not kill them. Police shot defenseless masses of our people. One of the people who was shot there was one man who was wearing a green blanket called Mambush, with more than 7 bullets found on his head on a close range, because they demanded money and more money from London Mine. When people demand water, they get shot at and killed by the government. When people demand better living conditions, the response of the state is to kill those people. We're fighting against that. When the students demand free education, they get locked up by the regime. We're fighting against that. We're fighting for equality in our country. We do not want to replace white supremacy with black supremacy. We want to create a society where all of us exist as human beings and not as white and black. We want to restore the dignity of the African continent and position Africa as an equal partner in the world economy and international politics. We want Africa to be like Europe. We don't want Europe to treat Africa like it is its own subject. Africa's time is now. No one should continue with the exploitation of our minerals without our involvement. Not even China will be allowed to recolonize Africa. We are called economic freedom fighters because we want any foreign direct investment to come and invest in Africa through our own terms and to the benefits of the people of Africa. It might be a dream. Some might think it's not real. But we know we're going to achieve it. For because this dream is not just a dream but a generational mission. It's a generational mission we are not prepared to sell out. We want to restore the dignity of African people. We want to ensure that African people are equal partners in trade, in politics, in every subject that the world is debating. We want to follow in the footsteps of Nelson Mandela. Because Nelson Mandela, when he left his term as a president, he said the struggle continues. He said so because he knew that political freedom without economic freedom is incomplete. People cannot eat a cross. People want to put bread on the table. So, like many African leaders, we have committed not to betray the dreams of those who came before us. Like many African leaders, we want to unite the people of Africa to have a common agenda and common purpose. We want Africa to unite and Africa to reclaim its land and its resources. The EFF speaks about expropriation of land without compensation because we know that when the land was taken in Africa was through genocide.